Hey guys, Ash here from curseforward.com, and today we have with us arguably the best phone to come out of China, the Find 5 from Oppo. On paper, the Find 5 has a lot going for it. It has a beautiful 5-inch 1080p IPS display, a Qualcomm Snapdragon Pro processor clocked at 1.5 GHz, an Adreno 320 GPU, and 2 gigs of RAM. These are exactly the same specs found in flagship phones from leading manufacturers like HTC with the Droid DNA and Butterfly, Sony with the Xperia Z, and Google and LG with the Nexus 4. The Nexus 4 having just a 4.7-inch 720p display instead. Moving from specs on paper to real day-to-day usage, can the Find 5 still compete with the flagship phones from major manufacturers, or does it fall flat on its face? Well, let's take a closer look. Let's start with build and design. The Find 5 is 141.8mm long, 68.8mm wide, and 8.9mm thick. It's worth noting that the Find 5 has a curved back and ends up feeling a lot slimmer than it really is due to the way our hands curve when we hold the phone. It also has a steel frame inside, which makes the Find 5 feel solid but also causes it to weigh in at 165 grams. That's closer to the Note 2 territory rather than the Galaxy S3 in terms of weight. In the front, on top, we have a 1.9 megapixel front-facing camera, the earpiece, sensors, and a notification light. Lower below, we have the gorgeous 5-inch 1080p IPS display with a pixel density of 441 pixels per inch. Further below, we have the 3 capacitive buttons. Oppo has chosen to stick with the menu, home, and back trio instead of the back, home, and open apps layout that is recommended by Google and has been adopted by many leading manufacturers including HTC, LG, and Sony. Well, considering that Samsung sells way more phones than all three combined, using Samsung's menu, home, and back layout might not be a bad idea. We find the power button to the left and the volume rockers to the right, essentially mirroring Samsung's button placements. If you're used to waking your phone with your thumb, no need to worry here since Oppo lets us wake the Find 5 using the volume rockers as well. On top, we have the 3.5mm headphone jack, and at the bottom, we have the micro USB port and a microphone. At the back, we have the 13 megapixel rear camera with dual LED flash and the second noise cancelling microphone. A little lower, we have the Oppo branding and the speaker grill at the bottom. With regards to built-in design, Oppo has got no corners here, and everything from the white bottom to the translucent plastic buttons to the metal trim that encases the rear camera and dual LED flash to the Oppo branding are aesthetically pleasing, giving the Find 5 a very premium feel. Again, right from the box that the Find 5 ships in to the pin that is used to remove the microSD card slot, nothing feels generic. Everything has a distinctive Oppo flavor to it. It is also worth noting that, despite having Gorilla Glass 2 to protect the display, Oppo still throws in a screen protector as well. I was also pleasantly surprised to see a couple of NFC stickers included in the box. While the box, pin, screen protector, and NFC stickers aren't a big deal, it does give you a feel of a company that's really trying hard to make a great first impression. And at least for me, it worked. I was both pleasantly surprised as well as impressed. Well, all this would be for naught if the Find 5 doesn't deliver day-to-day performance. So does it? Let's take a closer look. Let's start with the display. The 1080p IPS display is amazing. It's bright, vibrant, has good contrast levels, and offers natural color reproduction. I'd say it's second only to the Super LCD 3 found on the Droid DNA HTC Butterfly, and even then, not by much. The viewing angles are good, with slight hues appearing only at extreme angles. Visibility under direct sunlight is also good. The Find 5 runs Android 4.1.1 out of the box with Oppo's custom UI on top. If imitation were the best form of flattery, one could say that Oppo is really trying to flatter a lot of other manufacturers. The icons and home screen, on first glance, remind us of Meizu's very popular MIUI. But there are differences since the Oppo UI comes with an app drawer. You have a 4x4 grid with high-resolution icons for default apps. You can also add a fifth icon to the dock. The quick toggles on the notification bar and the ability to sort apps by your own order and even add folders to the app drawer if necessary seem to be inspired by Samsung's TouchWiz. The double tap to top and the pop-up player all seem to have found their way over from Samsung's TouchWiz to the Oppo UI. Going into the settings menu, you can see all settings being sorted by tabs, and this now brings LG's own custom UI to mind. Taking pages out of the big manufacturer's playbooks isn't really a bad thing when you think about it. Because be it Samsung or LG or even Mizu, they've had years to develop and fine-tune their custom UIs. And keep in mind, this is Oppo's first major outing, so taking a few cues from other manufacturers is definitely beneficial for us end users. Well, that doesn't mean that the Oppo UI doesn't have any unique features of its own, because it does. Let's take a look at a few. The Find 5 comes with its own set of widgets that kind of look like deformed bubbles. Well, they might not be to everybody's liking. I kind of like it, and again, it's personal preference. So these are the widgets available. The Find 5 ships with two different kinds of lock screens, and here's one. And with this, double tapping at the time over there turns off and turns on sound. And pressing and holding the home button while at the lock screen turns on the flashlight. This is the other lock screen. Swiping to the right unlocks it. Swiping to the left mutes it. Swiping again gets the volume back on. And again over here, tapping and holding the home button turns on the flashlight. I also like the level of security with this phone. So you've got a password protection option by default. So what this does is, say, let me show you, protected apps. So now I can go ahead and lock a few apps. Say for example my messages, email, Gmail. That's it. So now if I give the phone to somebody and if they try to open up my messages, it's going to ask for a password. Yes, this can be done with third-party apps on most devices, but it's nice seeing it integrated into the OS. You also have a blacklist here where you can blacklist SMS or calls, and you can have settings with the number settings or SMS keywords, blocking text messages based on keywords and so on. And then you have permissions, so this again helps with the security. Any app that you download from the Play Store, if it's going to try to read your messages or if it's going to try to make a call, you're going to get a pop-up before the Find 5 actually lets it do it. So again, increases the security. And then you've got data saving. Any app that's going to try to use your data is going to ask you for permissions. So that's the notification center. You can hide notifications that are being displayed by certain apps. So especially when you download free apps from the Play Store, some of them keep giving you unwanted notifications. You can just turn it off right from here. And under display, you've got your home screen, lock screen, fonts, auto rotate, sleep, brightness. You've got easy lights. That is in case the screen is off, the LED will light up if you have anything missed. And again, you can use it to indicate low battery and charging. And this is to turn the lights over here on and off. So that's for the soft keys there. And this is for the home screen. You can choose whatever launcher you have installed. So if you have a third-party launcher installed, you can just select it from here. So again, this you can do this on other devices, but you need to go into apps and clear defaults and so on. But having easy access to it is a definite plus. You've got a whole set of sound options here: mute, vibrate, volume, ringtones, notification, just the regular stuff. And then you've got your general options. What I like over here is that under NFC, you've got first-party support from Oppo to actually write NFC tags. Yes, it's not really powerful, but still, I don't see any other manufacturer integrating an NFC writer into the OS. All you need to do is just put an NFC tag behind, and you can just select whatever you need to write, and you can write it from here. So again, I just want to emphasize that this is not a real powerful NFC writer. There are third-party apps which are way more powerful than this. But then again, this is the first time I'm seeing a manufacturer including a first-party NFC writer with the OS. So hats off to Oppo again. We already looked at double tap to go up. You also have easy answer. When you get a call, just put the phone to your ear and the call gets answered automatically. Oppo have also tweaked the memory management settings. So tap and hold the home button and a list of recent apps pop up. So when you want to clear memory, what we usually do is we just wipe everything. And then if you go back to say the browser, it needs to reload the page again. So if you have a lot of apps open, you can't just go around closing them one by one. So here is where Oppo's tweak comes in. So let me open up the browser. And let me open up calendar, Play Store, and email won't open up. Okay, contacts. Alright, so now say I don't want to close the browser, I want to close everything else. All I need to do is just pull it down and leave it. There's a lock that shows up, and off and everything else. So if you can see, the browser alone does not get unloaded from memory. So now when I go back to the browser, it doesn't have to reload the page again. So this is an advantage, a tweak that is kind of unique to the Find 5. The Find 5 comes with a regular host of Google apps, Google Play Store, Chrome as the default browser, Google settings, and so on. You also get a few tools here. Quick Office Pro comes preloaded. You've got a voice recorder, you've got flashlight, compass. This is for system updates, we'll get to that in a bit, and you've got Flash Player. These are the Google apps. This is the stock gallery. You get a 6x4 grid. Nothing to write home about. That's pretty basic. And you've got a pretty powerful editor with quite a lot of options. Red eye, straighten, rotate, flip, sharpen, and so on. The music player is pretty basic. You get all music option. You've got the sort by artist, album, playlists, and that's pretty much it. The speaker on the Oppo Find 5 is possibly the best speakers that I've come across. They are very, very clear and really loud. So let me just play. I mean, again, the music player can display lyrics as well as album art over here. So let's just play this track that it comes with. You've got Dolby. And when you plug in external earphones, you also have Dirac. That cleans up the audio and overall improves the quality. And just like the speakers, the call quality via the earpiece is also amazing. It's very loud and clear. I have no issues hearing the person at the other end of the line, even if I'm in traffic or in a crowded room. As you can see, the video playback is great, and it's a pleasure to watch videos on this 5-inch 1080p screen. And the audio, again, just like we saw with the music player, is really good. You can lock the screen here so that you disable the capacitive touch buttons and you disable anything on screen, so that when you're watching a video you don't accidentally hit something and move away from the video. That's a nice addition. Video player handles all major codecs, right from AVI to DivX to even MKV. So 1080p videos via MKV, the only thing that's going to be stopping you is the storage, as the Oppo Find 5 does not have external SD card slots. So as per your internal capacity, you can throw whatever you want at it and the video player will play it. And apart from that, the video player also has options to play subtitles if and when available. And again, you can activate Dolby Mobile from here as well. You also have an equalizer over here as well as with the music player. The Find 5 also has a pretty solid file manager. You can access your files via pre-sorted categories: music, videos, pictures, documents, APK files, and zip files. Or you can access it in the traditional way via as folders. You can also have access to FTP and DLNA from here. Another advantage here with the Find 5 is that you can schedule messages. That is, you can type in a message and set it to actually go out at a certain time. Again, this can be achieved with third-party apps, and this is the first time that I'm seeing it included into the OS by a manufacturer. So again, hats off to Oppo for this. So though I've mentioned a lot of positives about the UI here, there are a few bugs as well. Say for example, at times the volume rockers fail to wake the device. It does right now, but at times it doesn't. The Find 5 at times requires you to be extremely precise. Say for example, I want to hit the settings button over here, hitting it over here, yeah, it goes in, but hitting it a little above doesn't do it. See, my finger is on the settings button partially, but it doesn't get detected. I've been testing this device quite extensively, and I get a crash about every 2 days. I get a crash, but it's nothing major. It's just a second, it crashes. I get the error pop up. I hit OK, and I load the app again, and it works fine. But just letting you guys know, there are a few bugs. The UI at most times is fast and fluid, but there are instances where there's a little bit of a lag. Say for example, opening a folder. You don't really, it's not really a lag, but you can see that it is not really smooth. Again, it happens with any folder. This doesn't have anything to do with the hardware. It is more of the software optimization here. And here is where we get to the updates part of this video. I was assured by my seller that the phone was updated to the latest firmware and shipped to me. And once I received it, it took me about a week to receive it here in India. And once I receive it, there you see I got another update. And right now I've had this phone for a couple of weeks, and there you see I've got another update. So it's nice to see that Oppo is still continuing to work on the phone, and there are updates every few weeks, and that's really nice. We generally don't see that from any manufacturer. Oppo have also promised that this phone will be updated to Android 4.2 in the next few months. Let's talk a little bit about the cameras. So let's start with the rear camera. The rear camera is a 13 megapixel shooter. So you've got your regular flash on off automatic, and then you've got HDR mode, and you've got your regular host of grid, location, face detection, timer, resolution, wherein 13 megapixel is for 4:3 images, and if you want a 16:9 image, you need to go for 10 megapixel. Well, the extra option here is the sound. You can disable the shutter sound. So right now, you get the shutter sound. You disable it, that's it. So this is not a feature that's available as a standard on many devices, so I thought it's worth mentioning here. Another thing that's not available as a standard on most devices is the volume rockers doubling as the shutter button. So there you see it. Well, it works, but it doesn't work really great, because when you use the volume rocker as a shutter button, sometimes there are autofocus issues. The image does not really focus properly, but still it's nice knowing that the option is there. As far as video goes, you've got the option of turning flash on and off, and you've got 120 frames per second, 420p, slow motion, high speed, and then you've got 720p and 1080p. Again, worth mentioning that you cannot simultaneously shoot videos and take pictures. Again, that's become a standard on most devices today. You also have HDR video that's currently available only with the Xperia Z from Sony. So again, nice little addition. Moving on to the front camera. As far as video goes, the front camera can only do 720p. Again, most of these generation flagship phones can do 1080p when it comes to front cameras. And from settings, you can record sound, location, grid, the same. So as far as photos go, you've got HDR mode option with the front camera as well, and then you've got your face detection, shutter sound, timer, resolution, and so on. The resolution being 1.9 and 1.2 options. So that's that. You also have tap to focus with the front camera as well. So let's go ahead and take a look at a few sample shots that I took. In well-lit surroundings, you can take great pictures. But a lot of noise creeps in a low-lit setting. There is no way to check the battery stats on this device, but I have been conducting a few battery tests, and when I loop a video at full brightness with airplane mode enabled, I get about 5.5 hours. Again, it's not a hardware issue here, because the Find 5 packs one of the largest batteries in these kind of devices with 2500 mAh. To give you some perspective, the HTC Butterfly, aka Droid DNA, packs in a 2020 mAh battery. The Xperia Z packs in a 2330 mAh battery. So it's not a hardware issue, it's just that the software is not optimized well enough. So with the kind of updates that we are getting, we can be hopeful that the battery life should be improving. But as of today, on a looping, while running a looping video, I get about 5.5 hours. It does give me about the same battery life that I get from a Droid DNA. Again, the Droid DNA using a 2020 mAh battery and the Find 5 using a 2500 mAh battery. I put the Find 5 through a few popular benchmarks and it performed really well, scoring heavily on both AnTuTu and Quadrant Standard. So guys, the Find 5 sells for $500 for the 16 gig variant and $560 for the 32 gig variant. My final thoughts on this is that I seriously like this phone. I'm a big fan. Oppo kind of made me a believer here. Well, the specs are real top-notch. Oppo could have easily opted for, say, the MediaTek processor like the hundreds of other phones shipping out of China today, but they have chosen to go with the top of the line specs, an amazing display, 2 gigs of RAM, a great a good camera, great speakers, again, very good quality with the earpiece, call quality, the microphone quality, everything's really good. The software still needs some work, but then again, Oppo are showing heart. They are providing regular updates, and it kind of makes it really hard to say anything negative about the phone, because you can see the kind of attention to detail shown here, right from the box that the phone comes in, to the NFC tags, to the software optimizations. There's a lot of work that's gone into this phone, and it's really, really good. Yes, the battery life is not the best, but then again, the hardware wise, it is a 2500 mAh battery that's in there. The optimization still needs to be worked on. So if you're on the market today and you're looking for a device in the $500 to $600 range unlocked, you cannot really go wrong with the Find 5. Again, as far as comparisons with other phones go, I really like the display on the Find 5 better than the one on the Xperia Z. And as far as the HTC Butterfly goes, the Butterfly sells for about $750+ internationally, whereas the Find 5 is selling for around $500. So again, that's the difference there. So that's it, guys. What do you think about the Find 5? Do you think this will be a device worth getting? Let me know in the comment section, and before you go, make sure you hit the like and subscribe buttons. Every time you hit the like button, it increases the odds of YouTube suggesting this video to others. So help me out, hit the like button and stay subscribed. So if you guys want to pick this phone up, you can pick it up from Amazon.com. The link is in the description. And if you guys have any video requests for me, or if you just want to stay updated on my latest videos and updates, you can hit me up on Facebook or Twitter or Google+. All my contact details are in the description. So that's pretty much it, guys. Thanks a lot for watching. Hope you liked the video, and stay subscribed. This is Ash here from cursforward.com signing off. You guys have a great day. Bye bye now.